Adoption is broken and beautiful. There are both parts to it. You can't have one without the other. It is a beautiful thing, but there are broken pieces, and we have to be okay with that, and we have to accept that, and they can live in tandem together.
I was adopted from South Korea at the age of 2.5. Long story short, I was abandoned in a fish market. Came to be with my family at 2.5. Had a pretty normal childhood most of the time. But there was a lot of dark periods of my life where it just was very traumatic and very difficult. And I identified that as some of that came from being adopted. Realizing that in my own life gave me great apprehension that I was like, if we adopt, we're taking on that responsibility. We're going to be a part of that story. That's a huge responsibility, and I didn't know if I was ready to really jump into that.
Shortly after we got married, we started talking about it more. So we knew really from the very beginning that however we grew our family, we wanted adoption to be part of it.
One of the biggest hurdles for adoption is the finances. And that's where Lifesong really came into the picture for us. We were able to, through Lifesong, do crowdfunding and have a matching grant, expand the ability for friends and family to jump on board with the story and the finances with us.
2 days before we left for Ghana to meet our new adopted child, we found out that there were complications with that specific match we'd received, and we no longer could go through with that. But we decided anyway to head over and see what happened. Initially, when we went to Ghana, we had thought it would be 6 weeks total. Shortly after we got there, it moved to 5 months. We came home after 340 days. The day after we arrived, we met with the director of adoption there, and he told us there was this possibility of this little boy.
When we officially met Isaiah, it was in his orphanage. He was happy. You could tell he was being cared for as well as he could have been, but you could tell that he had been through some life. Thankfully, he really attached to us that first day.
While we were there, we lived in a very small apartment. Both of us worked part-time during the day remotely. We had a lot of one-on-one time there that included swimming, lots of going outside to play, reading. Our son, he's very energetic. He doesn't sit still very long. From day one, he loved dancing. He loved singing.
The switch to it being longer, 5-6 months initially, was a real shock for us.
Plus 3 children at home that still needed things we had to pay for also. Some traveling back and forth so we could take care of those 3 children at home.
It was a lot of mental anguish and just even emotional anguish. There was one time where we don't know if we're gonna have to come home because we didn't have any more money to pay for our living, to pay for any of that stuff. We were going bankrupt back at home. We were literally at zero, basically financially. But it showed the faithfulness of God because people stepped in. We had family and friends that helped. Lifesong came in again and helped us financially with a grant. There was literally no way that we could have survived if Lifesong didn't step in and help us. It was a very beautiful homecoming, and our family met us at Kansas City Airport.
It was exciting to see him when he saw his siblings there at the airport, just the joy that came out of him, because that's what I felt in my heart. For me, it was just relief. We're here.
I love the scripture in Ezra where it talks about where the second temple was built and the Jewish people looked upon the second temple and there was great joy, but also great weeping. And I think adoption in some ways is like that because it is not the best. It is not the original intent. The original intent is for family to be family and no broken families whatsoever. But there is. And when the Jewish people saw this beautiful temple that was rebuilt, but it wasn't like the same, they had great joy that it was built, that they now had a temple. At the same time, they knew what was lost. This is not the way it's supposed to be, that there is something missing in the midst of this. But at the same time, without adoption, life wouldn't be as beautiful. Family wouldn't be as beautiful.